morning. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. How did your evening go? Let me just show you this view, which is very nice. See, you can see Sir Apollo Kagwa up there. Sir Apollo Kagwa, I don't know if you guys can zoom in, but Sir Apollo Kagwa looks really nice from down here. I'm in Boise right now. Traffic lights. I know Enanga told us not to share our locations, but what are you going to do? I'm not in government. I'm not a chief judge. I'm not nothing. So I'm in Boise. Yeah, Sir Apollo Kagwa Mujirabi. Good morning, Nathan. Good morning, Martha. Yeah. So today we are going to be talking about, of course, the current market conditions. I've been in the market for the past 2 days. I have some of my followers that I'm trying to get cars here. Now, yeah, Katari Kachus. Good morning, Dito Boss. The Katari is quite new. So we're going to be talking about that, and also we're going to be talking, because yesterday someone called Susan was asking me, when do I know when I need a car? Yeah, sorry about the noise. So Martha, when you buy a car and you're ready to have kids, abano inopatira mu TV nebe yagala fibye tutafuna boba bifune. Yeah, so we're also going to be talking about that. I'm sure you guys, we have done this before, so you guys remember. So you guys, when do you need a car? Good morning, Abraham. When do you need to buy a car? You guys, we have talked about this, so in the comments you also tell me, when do you think you should buy a car? Let's be able to share, especially for the guys that were not here. I'm sure there are quite many of those. But I baby chibi to the last time, the previous time, because it's important for someone to know when this is going on, I should not buy a car, or when this is going on, I can actually now buy a car. That's a very important thing. So that's when you really need it. Simon, good morning. Martha, when do you know that you really need it? Because that's another thing. Because psychologically, someone can decide that they need something. You can validate your want to become a need. That's what happens psychologically. You can validate your want to become a need. So how do you know that you're not just validating a want into a need? Because we've seen guys that are not ready to marry, and because they are lonely at night, they validate it. Oh, I need to marry and call you warm. But really being alone at night doesn't validate you getting married. Good morning, David. Good morning, Rich. Good morning, Arthur. A car is necessary, so I think everyone needs to buy one. Really? I personally don't think that everyone. Yes, I know my channel is about buying cars and all, and loving cars, and I understand that the more people buy cars, then I make money, because well, inspection for me is not free. You give me some car money, but I also understand that not everyone needs a car. So yes, a car might be a necessity, but not for everyone, and we're going to cover that briefly. But Martha, kindly throw some light. When does someone know that they need a car? Because that's another dynamic that we need to consider. Sometimes we validate our wants into being needs. Which take it. Because sometimes, like for example, I'll give you an example. Someone works in Bukoto and they live in Mutinda. And good morning, Patrick. And they can walk there, by the way, because from Mutinda to Bukoto you can walk comfortably. Do they really need a car? Someone doesn't have a family, they are alone, and they live in their family home, and they work in their home supermarket, which is in front of their main house. Do they really need a car? These are some of the assumptions I'm making. Someone works at an insurance company, for example, and they have a shuttle from work that gets them to work every day. He walks to the stage and the shuttle picks him up, takes him to work. and then in the evening the same shuttle brings them back. Does that person need a car? Okay. Someone is, for example, a teacher, and he lives in the staff quarters at school. So he basically walks from the staff quarters to the staff room. Does he or she need a car? Someone works and lives in the same area. Because, for example, if your workplace is in Chisasi and you can get a house in Chisasi, okay? So if you got a car, you'd be driving about 500 meters or 1 kilometer a day. Okay? So it means half of the time you'll not be driving it. Do you really need a car? Those are questions I want you guys to think about, and then we can discuss. Let's discuss together. Then there are people that are very poor at decision making. Everyone is telling you don't buy that car, but you buy it. You want to buy it. You feel like if you don't buy that car, you'll not be following your heart. Yeah? And then there are of course motivational speakers that tell you follow your heart. Yeah? Good morning, Chris Da Vinci. If you're the kind of person that's going to be following your heart, do you really need a car? Because you're going to end up spending a lot of money on a car that you will not drive half of the time, because half of the time it will be dead. So do you really need a car? Yeah. I want us to be talking about these things, and I want us to be as logical as possible, yeah, so that we don't make mistakes. Yeah, so that we don't make mistakes. Okay, I'm in the fast lane and I'm going at 65 kilometers per hour. So there is a trailer that has just overtaken me. It is using the slow lane. It has hooted and hooted and hooted, but I doubt that guy is faster than me, because now I'm driving the speed limit. So he's hooting for border guys. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to be patient. Now the trailer guy is just not a patient person. He has come back to my lane behind me. It's evil to use a phone while driving, but there are views you guys need to get. Yeah. It's not good for one to use a phone while driving. Never do what I've done. Do as I say, don't do as I do. Because if you do, you're gonna get it. The trailer is there. If you do, yeah, it's there. I think it's Zambian. The Zambian trailer. We have sun finally. Yesterday we didn't get any sun, but today we have the sun. Today we have the sun, which is very nice because the day is not going to be as cold as yesterday. So I have to turn to you now. My power bank as well, of course for lighting. Sometimes I feel like when we have the sun, we don't really need this lighting. But guys, all in all, Chokorenyo, I want us to really work hard as young people so that we give our kids the things we do not get. And I'm sure you guys hear people, speakers, religious guys telling you that giving your kids what you did not get is spoiling them. But come on, if you had gotten the things that you did not get, would you be spoiled? And are the rich kids that got okay, what we call the rich kids, they were not really rich. It's just that their parents worked hard and provided, or their parents were lucky that they could provide. But if you had gotten the things that you wish you got, would you have gotten spoiled? Hell no. No. I wouldn't have gotten spoiled. Like for me, I used to go to school. I used to tell my grandmother that I don't need sugar when I'm going to school. Deep down, what I didn't want to do, I didn't want to leave her in debt. So I would tell my grandmother, they even say sugar is not good for you. So I'd go to school without sugar. So some of us who went to bursary schools, I went to school in Mitiana, and at that time the transport to Mitiana would be like 2,000, 2,500 or 3,000. So my grandmother would give me 5,000, and the 5,000 included transport and pocket money. Now remember, for a person that did not take sugar to school, 5,000 was quite little. Now I did not want to leave my grandmother in debt. So of course I did not take sugar, I did not have gweke, I did not have bread. Kugamba embeera nga teyali nga nyangu. So some of us, of course, ebintu byaba smart wire byavadda. So for some of us, we survived on the girls. So you'd get a girlfriend, and of course, 2 days out, we would do like 2 days out of a week, for example, you'd fall sick, and then your best friend would go and pretend to your girlfriend and tell your girlfriend, Banangi, Arthur has told me not to tell you, but he's very sick. He can't even eat posho. He doesn't even have sugar. So your best friend would pretend, and you know how girls can be soft. So the girl will say, don't tell him I gave you this money. Don't tell him I gave you this money. So your girlfriend would give your best friend money to go and buy you some katogo from the canteen, to buy some sugar. Bananga, we survived. My friend Katotoni died in 2016, rest in peace. But we did things for survival. So when you guys, the chicks that are in Dubai and Qatar, when you see smart wires, we were trained in high school to survive. And at that time we survived better than you. So for us, but you people, we need to work hard and give our kids what we could not get. But of course, me, I don't hold it on my grandmother. Me, I was an and she had no choice but to do the best that she could do. You get it? But for us as parents, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not having a humongous number of kids, because the people that have a humongous number of kids still don't provide for their kids sufficiently. Yeah. So anyway, that's a by the way. If you had almost the same kind of life, boys, wake up. Aban, hey, wake up. So you guys, if you had the same kind of life, I think you're in the same club with me. We need to really work hard, and we need to make the right decisions, starting from which car you buy, going to the decision of whether you want to build a home or not. We need to make the best decisions ever, so that our kids don't lie to their girlfriends that they are very sick, so that they can buy them katogo. Martha, we did them. I'm thinking even your boyfriend did it to you. For us. So Patrick says, 1, Martha says first, no, Rich, I have a small clinic and people call me doctor. I think add value and respect to myself, I will need a car, right? Yes, if you have a small clinic, yeah, of course there are people that buy cars for value addition. That's important, by the way. And probably if you get home visits as a doctor, then you can drive that car to a home visit, and you can charge extra for transport. I think JK also talked about the same thing, that a friend of his, I think, was in real estate, and the car added value. And if you watched Council Yunus's video, he also said that as a lawyer, having a car adds value to you. And when you go to visit clients, they can actually give you a lot of transport money. Transport money seems evil because girls use it, but they can give you a lot of transport allowance. Yeah, so that makes sense, by the way. That makes sense, Rich, that yeah, sometimes you need it for value. Personally, because I'm in the performing arts business, I used to write proposals, 200 million, 300 million, of which some of those proposals never went through because of my size. I used to be very small. The size I have right now is because of the gym. That's why I love the gym. And sometimes you have to realize that, especially in Africa, that there are things that people perceive that they use to judge you, whether you're worth their time, whether you're worth their money, whether you're worth their business. And at the time, of course, I used to drive, but also my size was, I think, a problem. Someone would look at you and go, no. You get it? So it was a problem. So I understand when someone actually says that sometimes you need to buy a car to add value to yourself, or for status, or for you to actually get business. So I totally understand you, Rich. It makes sense. Some of you guys actually need to go to the gym, so that, first of all, the chicks. By the way, Martha, tell these guys, You chicks like guys that actually look nice. And we like a chick that has some nice boobs, some nice hips, some nice bodies. Namambagament, you chicks also like guys that work on themselves. So you guys sometimes you have to actually go to the gym or stulemuko, not just for the chicks, by the even for business. Nadara, if in your DNA you guys are tiny in your homes, thank you. If you guys are tiny and one you're small, like me in my family, I think I'm one of the biggest guys among my siblings, and the reason I'm a little big is because I lift some weights. If I hadn't lifted some weights, I would actually be very small. And also, gym actually gives you some peace of mind. When you work out, you kill some stress, and when you kill stress, obviously, so of course, there are things that we do for status, and a car can actually uplift, can make your status better. Okay, that's one thing we need to also understand. So but that depends on the kind of job you do. If you're the kind of person I know Mudara Mowino, don't buy a car in the hopes that it is going to uplift your status and get you more customers. The customers don't care whether you drive, they don't care whether you look good. What they care about is that your things are affordable. I hope that is quite clear. And so you see, every day you tell us not to buy a car for prestige, but people still will buy cars. Okay, it's true, Arthur, it's not easy to change someone's heart from what they want. Yes. Yeah, it's not, yeah, it's quite not easy. Sometimes it's okay for someone to follow their heart. Sometimes people will not buy a car because of consumption. They'll buy a car because they want it. Like me, I want a Mercedes Benz. But however, I'm trying to learn to teach myself to control my urges. You get like, okay, I want a Mercedes Benz, but can I afford it? I want a Mercedes Benz, but do I need it? And that's how I've not bought a Mercedes Benz for all this time. Even when I have the money to actually buy a Mercedes Benz should be car number 3. And when we have 2 cars in our home, of course, one for my wife and then one for me, then I can go and buy a Mercedes Benz because then I can afford the prestige. But until then, no Mercedes Benz for me. My Corolla is enough. Yeah. Patrick says one needs a car depending on what they do, because it is part of marketing and attracting clients, especially if you are in a noble profession, because rules dictate. Actually, Patrick, rules don't dictate. Let me give you an example. If you are in the kind of profession that dictates that you need to have a car, then I'm sure it dictates what kind of car you need to have, and I'm sure it also dictates what number plate, what condition. So if you're in a profession that dictates that you need to have a newer car, like if you're in a profession that says Kawundo is the car and you cannot afford Kawundo, then buying a Wish will almost be useless. So I think then it's prudent for you to not buy a car until you can afford the car that will actually get you the business you need. Then under those circumstances, when you're going for a meeting, I've told you guys you can hire a car for as low as 100,000 a day. You can even hire a Land Cruiser at 150. You get it? So if you're going for a very important meeting and you know that it's really important and you cannot do without a car in that meeting, then go to a company that hires cars. Then rent a car for 150,000. Go for the meeting. Which you can't afford at that time. Okay? Go for the meeting. After the meeting, return the car. Then go do your normal business. Because I find that it does not help for you to park a car every day. Because most of the times, the reason you'll need a car is for meetings, right? So if you're not, for a lawyer, I would understand that you go to court almost every 2 days to go and represent clients, to go and meet clients. Sometimes you'll have to go with your client in the car. So a lawyer, I would totally understand. But even we have a lawyer that is driving a Ractis, when the lawyers are telling him, inakuvuga Benz or inakuvuga Jaguar, you get it. So sometimes you can do the math, no gamba. The car I need to drive in my profession probably will cost me 45 to 50 million. But can I afford 45 million right now? No. So it makes sense for me to hire a car. If, for example, you're a lawyer and you go to court every Monday, that means you go to court 4 times a month. You can hire a car every month, every Monday. If you have a colleague that has a kaundo or a neighbor, on a Monday, let me drop you to your workplace and then I go with your car. Trust me, guys. Some of these things, you just need to know how to associate with people. So you tell your neighbor, let me give you 100,000. I drop you to your workplace. I go, I have a meeting. After my meeting, I'll bring back your car and park it where you want it. And then I go for my normal business. Mathematics, simple mathematics. So yes, I totally understand that that the rules dictate so, but the rules might also dictate the type of car you have to drive. And if the rules dictate the type of car you have to drive, katiao, or kuba very, very, very careful, or butatomera. Yeah, so let me see. Guys, let's keep the discussions coming. Good morning, Sans. Good morning, Vicent. Let's keep the discussions coming. When does one need a car? When does one need to buy a car? Susan should have been here to see these discussions. I don't know why she's not here. Maybe she's coming a little later. When does one need a car? Now, there are people who spend a lot of money in transport. Okay? There are people who... Give him one. Let me give you the task thing. So, there are people that spend a lot of money in transport. For example, I used to have a friend, and he, of course, me, I've been driving for a very long time. At least in me, I would rather drive a car that is skipping like a grasshopper, but I have to have a car. You get? So all those things that people say, I'm sure you guys saw the clip on TikTok where the guy was, the Mercedes-Benz got burned down. And the guy was saying, me, as Arthur, yeah? For me, I've decided in my life, I will have a car. For starters, you guys that say that a car is status, for me, a car has never been status. For me, my car is a means of survival. You get? I drive a car every day. Yes, Vincent, you're welcome. Good morning, Jason. Jason is new on the channel. You're welcome. Yeah, so you guys, when we see someone that has not been on our channel, let's welcome him and make him feel at home. So you're welcome, Jason. Feel at home. I have a live here every day, Monday to Friday in the morning, and Saturday and Sunday I normally have lives in the evening at 4 p.m. Yeah, so you feel at home, and if you have questions regarding cars, you ask. I also help people with pre-purchase inspection. I can go with you to help you select the car with reason. Yeah, yeah, I know. But normally the reason cars burn down is because of poor wiring. And like I said, wiring is the most expensive thing on cars. And sometimes when people want to save money, instead they want to save money, and instead of paying for proper wiring guys, they get to these guys and they do poor wiring, and yeah, that's why cars are burning down. But the Range Rover guy, the Range Rover that burnt down, that one I suspect that the guy burnt it down for insurance. You know, sometimes your car can lose value. Oh, bye. So you can pay insurance, and insurance will pay you, for example, 8 million. But when you go to the market to sell the car, they will be giving you 5. So you decide, let me burn down the car and get 8 million. Simple mathematics, guys. Simple mathematics. Hey. Hello. Okay, you tell my friends hi. Here, Aban, here. Tell them hi.
Hi.
See, this boy looks like me. It's my photocopy. That's exactly how I looked when I was a kid. So what Wabana got DNA? Actually, he looks like my grandfather. I sent a picture of him to one of my aunties, and she's like, hey, onotata ya nini. So that's my eldest son. So you guys, it's simple mathematics. Sometimes ebisere imoso borokoche motoke iyo bakwe sente za insurance nga sente za insurance nyingi okusinga zogenzo gifunamu sengo sarawo kugituna nga ate kutamye. So me, that's my analysis. I actually think the Range Rover guy burnt down his own car. You get, but that aside, because the Range Rovers don't really have those too many wires that someone can mess up. And then you burn it down when you have justification. Nothing in amcharo kuraba mama. Imoroka ne kwato omuliro banange mumpe sente ngule mmotoka. And yeah, they'll give you money. So you guys, let's keep the discussion coming. When does one need to buy a car? Like me, I need a Benz, but I don't need to buy it now. I need a Benz for my ego. You get? And there was a time that I wanted to. There was a time that I wanted to run for mayor. Good morning, Jack. There was a time I wanted to run for mayor. Of course, I still want to run for mayor in my area. Someone needs to come and change it. So you guys, I'm going to run for mayor. Netagayo kasente ka campaign mu nsondere. Muberenga na mumwina yo muntu omunene gwe mumanyi. And I want to run for mayor. I wanted to run for mayor. I still have the conviction. One of my advisors, young number, the area where I want to run for mayor is dangerous. You get, but I still have the conviction. So when I come to you guys, guys, I'm going to run for mayor. I need some campaign money. But politics aside, guys, when does one need to buy a car? As I wait for your discussions, because now about my thoughts, the market conditions today. Because yesterday I was in the market, buy a car to show off. Really? No, me, I don't think anyone should buy a car to show off. Of course, there are rich kids. So someone said, if you buy the car you want, even if you don't have enough money, it motivates you to work. No, Jack. Jack, that is that will be said by someone that has money. Trust me, Jack, if you have ever bought a car and it started eating your money, it does not matter how much money you have. You'll get tired. Sometime back I had a Primo, that Primo that I sold before. Of course I had it when I had this car, and I decided to sell it because mechanic me. The car had didn't really have a problem, because I had a project up country last year, end of last year, and I would travel with the car to Masaka, to Mubende, and I would like travel. Most of the time I'll come from Mubende to Kampala and then travel to Masaka, or I'll come from Hoima to Kampala and that very day I go to Mubende. You get it? So ngetambula nnyo nga tegina buzibu, but it was consuming fuel. Nainga mechanic yajikwata mu engine ne bagikola bubi the cylinder head. Ne mboroka ne entama. You get it? So trust me, a bad car doesn't motivate you to work hard. It doesn't. The one thing that motivates you to work hard is yourself. People that don't want to work hard still don't work hard. It does not matter. You know, normally they tell us, especially old men, if you have been talking to old men will tell you, Zala Abana, Bonozala Abana, Baja motivating Kola. What? I've seen guys that have over 10 kids. Their mothers are looking after the kids. I have a friend, very close friend of mine, and he has like, I think 6 kids, and 3 of the 6 kids are with the mothers abroad. Bamama bawe bafumbirwa abazungu ne bagenda n'abaana baabwe. Okay? And I want to park in a place. I have a meeting again here, but I want to park in a place where you guys can have a view of the road. Mulabe ku mamotoka abo nga gatambula. We can also share thoughts about those cars still. Yeah. So and then the 7 kids are at his mother's place. They are being looked after by the mother. So I don't believe that there is anything that motivates you to work other than yourself. You need to have conviction. I have to wake up and go and work. You get? So that even when you have the option of actually sleeping in, you will not actually sleep in. I don't know if I make sense. Yeah, so I'm thinking here we can actually get a view of the road as I wait for my person to call. Yeah, so the market condition today, it's easier to get a car that will at 4 million than it is to get a car at 8 million. It's easier, like I said, it's easier to get a car at 4 million than it is to get a car at 6 million, at 7 million, at 8 million. Do you know why? Because generally cars are expensive as they come into the country. So the people that have good cars, nabo baziseera okitegeera, nabo baziseera. So you'll find that a car that would have been sold to you at 5 million, because it is in quite good condition, they want to sell it to you at 7 million. And this is what I've been telling the people that are coming to buy cars with me, that if you're going to buy a car with me, there are times I'm going to tell you don't buy that car however good it is, because it's priced poorly. It doesn't make sense to buy a car that you're going to find, you would want to find someone to buy it from you ngato mulaba because of the price you're trying to sell it to them. You get? It doesn't make sense. Sometimes you will buy a car at 6 million and you'll get to a time wanting to sell it at 5 million and you can't sell it however good it is. Okay, one of my clients is actually calling. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for you to buy a car now and in 2 years you cannot sell it at least a loss of 1 million. So sometimes you sell a car at a loss, but it should not go beyond 1 million. You get? It should not go at more than 1 million. And sometimes people make that much losses. Sometimes people sell cars at a very, very big loss. So I didn't mean buy a mechanically bad car. Yeah, but you know, Jack, maintaining a car, for me, I find that fuel is not motivation to actually work hard, because if you buy a car and you really need it, fuel will be a necessity. Fuel will be like food. Like now for me, I put a full tank in my car because even if I don't put a full tank, I'll still use the fuel that amounts to that money. Sometimes I'll even use more because you get it? Patrick says, I believe a car is a necessity. For example, cruising is safer than a border to mitigate effects of accidents, sickness at night, and some of us during Xmas are disgusted by transport fares. Yeah, that makes sense, Patrick. It's sometimes it's very expensive to travel during Christmas, and it's actually inconveniencing. Me, the times that I've taken a bus to Mbarara, I had gone to buy a car from Mbarara, and one of the reasons I came back with that car was because I don't like the buses. So it's okay, Barros, you're here in time. I don't like the environment in the buses. I'm super proud of the people that use buses all the time to travel to their villages. Why? Because bus, sometimes you sit next to a guy that they are indeed not clean, their breath is not fresh. If you don't get a window seat, someone will get the window seat. Now they will not allow opening of the window, yet the air is not fresh. Of course, there are times I've traveled in a bus to Nairobi. I think I've gone to Nairobi to apply for visas like 2 times. Like there are countries that don't have embassies here, and the only way to apply for their visa is to go to Nairobi. So I've gone to Nairobi like 2 times, and I didn't like it. These chicks going to Dubai, Mubalaba, you see those chicks getting into the coaster down there. Bambi, I think they are going to Dubai. The day you start realizing a personal side income and in a house, bro, buy a car. Exactly. That's another thing. That's another thought, Rich, and it's very valid. That if you have built your own house, so you don't have rent, no, Jack, it's not for fun. But there are people that can afford cars, but they continue using buses. So Rich is saying that when you build your own house, and that bus is full of chicks that are going to Dubai, by the way. There is a labor company in front, behind there. Katibaba tuwala ku airport, bagende bali nyenye bagende Dubai. Yeah, so when you build your own house and you have some good income, I also think that's the time for you to buy a car. Why? Because at that time, you can use the money that you would have put in rent to actually buy for fuel. Besides, even the guys that rent use transport. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the people that rent are saving any money that you're spending. You get it? So what Rich is saying makes sense. And of course, Jack, I totally understand people don't use it for fun, but I'll tell you a story. I'm sure you guys heard of this man. He was called Fred. You guys know the comedian Tata Sam. The guy that managed him was one of my very good friends. He was his manager, and what happened is I used to tell the guy, you should buy a car, because he could afford a car. And I used to tell him that, Fred, you should buy a car. You should buy a car. You know what? The times that we think we know how to, so Saudi Arabia, okay, those places are different. Dubai and Saudi Arabia. Martha, educate me. Yeah, I thought Dubai is like Kampala and Uganda. Like probably Dubai is a city in Saudi Arabia. Anyway, so I used to tell this guy, Bule Modoka, you can afford it. And the guy totally refused. So this one time, the guy actually had money, and he decided to buy, I think, a Bajaj. I'm sure you guys heard of that story, because since he was managing a popular artist, when his death was his accident and death was totally announced. So what happened is that he bought a Bajaj, and the very first day he rode it himself, he got an accident. He got into like a head-on with another border, and for him, he fell under a trailer. Now when he fell under the trailer tire went over his leg. Okay, the trailer tire went over his leg, and when they took him to, of course, actually when he got an accident, he had like 4 million in a bag. I don't know whatever he was going to do with that money, but he had 4 million cash in the bag. That's why normally I tell my people that we are going to, who are going to buy cars with me, don't come with the money to buy the car. No. Come with my car money. Of course, the fee that I charge. Just come with that car money, hand it to me. If we get a car and we are sure, normally that's also a control mechanism. Sometimes a person that wants to buy a car might get excited. So what happened? He had 4 million in the bag. So when he got to the accident, the people that came to rescue him first took the money there and then. So they took him to Mulago. They cut off the leg. He was there alive the day they cut off the leg, even tomorrow, before he realized that the leg was gone. So I think then the anesthesia starts wearing off. And the moment that thing went off, he saw the leg, he started feeling pain, he saw the leg. There and then, he got high blood pressure and died. That would have been avoided had he bought a car. If he had bought a car, he would not have gotten that accident. Chances are high that he would still be alive today, because I'm one person that doesn't believe in the fate of death. I don't believe that that God planned for you to die on a certain day. I planned that God created us for a higher purpose, and we are supposed to live and fulfill that purpose. And Fred was just beginning. He was transforming Tata Sam's career into a totally different direction. And I'm sure by that time, if you can go back and watch the last time Tata Sam was relevant, he was creating some very good content, and it was courtesy of that guy. But then when he died, Tata Sam also went under. So of course, what you're saying is totally true, that it's safer to actually have your car. You don't get accidents, or things don't get stolen from you. Because me, and no laptop has ever been stolen from me, because I've been driving for the longest period ever. Laptop. And the only time a phone was stolen from me, I was being reckless. I was stupid. I put all the windows down. I was having a very bad day. So all my windows were down, and I was listening to music. I wanted the air through that time I think I had dreads, so I just wanted the air to go through my hair. And my God, when they stole my car, I was Kuumbuzi. At that time I was living in Kasangati. But driving from Kuumbuzi to Kasangati it has been one of the longest journeys without my phone, not knowing what the guy is doing with my phone. I drove, I got to my place, I took my wife's phone. Okay, I'm just replying to a person that is finding me here. Yeah, so yeah, definitely, but there's a lot of trouble that I've not gone through because I had a car, but that doesn't mean everybody needs a car. Arthur, I took your words. I refused to borrow my new car to my friend. Now he does not speak to me. He said I sold myself and given a car that even my car is old, but I show off. Leave him. Caroline, that's how you know who your friend is. The moment someone starts saying those things simply because you did not lend him your car, trust me, that's not your friend. I will tell you that your friends will stick by you no matter what. Me, I've had some very bad experiences with friends, and let me tell you, the people that, for you to know that you don't have true friends, get some money and don't give people what they want when you have the money. That's how you know who your friends are. And also get some money and don't give people free things. I will tell you that most people that have money don't have true friends, don't have true girlfriends and boyfriends. There is no love for them. That's why you find that most of the people that are getting conflicts in their marriages married when they were rich or got married when they were rich. You get it? So that's not your friend Caroline. So don't worry. You should stop calling him your friend. You get it? Me, I don't lend people my car. And I don't go to friends and get cars for free. You get? Everyone that has ever lent me a car, I gave them money afterwards. Why? Because they use money to maintain that car. There is a time when I had just moved to Kasangati, I ran out of money, sold the car, and then when I sold that car, I just wanted a better car. So I decided to keep money on me and not buy a car. So I got a friend's car and I would give him I would give him 250,000 every week, and I drove that car. So for me it made sense to spend $1 million a month. I didn't do any maintenance, you get it? So that's what I did, 250, and he was my friend. I would have easily told him, and he would have given me. But we were both satisfied because he got money, I got a car. So when your friend wants a car for free, you should thank God that you know. Because such friends, if he gets an accident in your car, he will run away. You get? So Caroline, it's okay. You don't have bad manners. You do not sell yourself. You are just honest. Keep your car. Keep your car. So Patrick, I had an experience. A 30 minutes journey cost me an hour and 30 minutes because taxi guys make unnecessary stopovers to wait for clients. And when I complained, they told me, Patrick, actually, when you complain in a taxi, passengers in taxis most of the times are used to being treated like that. My experience is with the humps. Banange taxi guys hit humps. You sit in the taxi, the guy hits humps like he's driving Migugu. You get it? So I complained and everyone was looking at me like, "Ono guy avawa." But actually, even my wife tells me that Gwetocha asobola taxi because for her she's used. Taxi guys drive and hit potholes like it's nobody's business. You get it? And for the passengers, it's okay. You get? So of course, if you're uncomfortable with that kind of life, it's time for you to buy a car. That's why I've told you. For me, I would rather drive a car that moves like a grasshopper. But I have a car. You get? For me, it's not about prestige. For me, I find that driving a car that is hopping like a grasshopper is better than sitting in a taxi. It's better than sitting on a border. You get? But that's the way I made it out for myself. And also, right now, with the way I live, now that I have a family, kids that go to school, with a wife that goes to work as well, I find that for us, driving our own car is better than using a taxi. We save a lot of money. But that's the math I do. Someone else will tell you a different kind of math. Yeah, but that's the math I do. Let me see this one. Getting your phone stolen in Kampala traffic is a rite of passage. But sorry, yeah, but I don't believe that. Actually, for the guys that have cars, that's why I encourage you guys to buy cars that have AC, so that when you get to places that are notorious for stealing phones, you put your windows up or take a AC or joge. Life is too short, guys. Sometimes you need to enjoy your life, because if you died tomorrow, people would forget about you in like 2 months. Enjoy your life. If buying a car is what it takes for you to enjoy life, buy a car and have fun. But guys, let's discuss. These discussions actually help people. And for you guys, if you're watching this video after it has broadcasted, if you're watching it as an upload, for you to see the comments that were live, you'll actually need to either log on to YouTube using a browser like Firefox or Mozilla or Chrome, or you'll actually need to watch YouTube via desktop. The comments that people put live are very helpful, because these are unbiased comments most of the times. They are very honest. So if you want to see the comments of the people that I talk about, the people that are watching the broadcast live, like Jack, like Martha, yeah, normally when you watch this thing on mobile, it might not bring the comments that were done live, but the live comments are very helpful to you guys. So you find a way to watch this broadcast live, either find a way of watching this broadcast on desktop, or log on onto Firefox or Chrome. About these comments that were put live. I find that they are very helpful, and the experiences here are very good. So I'm going to learn about Dubai and Saudi Arabia. Normally I thought it's the same. Yeah, and also I would not recommend any of my siblings to go to Saudi Arabia for now, because the people that went there before made a lot of money, but right now I feel like the competition is too much. Yeah, competition is too much, and the jobs, I find that they are quite limited. Yeah, so yeah, someone is looking for me. Let me just show him where I am. He's watching live. So if you're seeing, there is a Masjid Yusuf Takuba, that's a mosque, and then of course after it there is a Total. The Total is new. The Total is new. The Total is new. You ask any border guy about the mosque on Bukoto Chisasi Road, and they will bring you here. And my car is facing the mosque. So you guys, I have to go. I have like plenty of people that are texting me right now that I need to meet. I need to go. Yeah, so you guys, the market conditions right now as we speak are tough. Like I said, it's easier for you to get a car it's easier to get a car at 4 million than it is to get at 7 million. Why? Currently, we are all trying to buy cars that are 7 million because they are in much better condition. However, every time someone gets a car that is in very good condition, they want to sell it at 10 million. Okay? And the cars that would be costing 4 million right now, people are trying to price them at 7 million, which I find to be very unfair. So when I go to buy cars with someone, sometimes they will like the car and I'll tell them that car is overpriced. Or jagezako kujitunda later on in time, and you can't sell it because no one will be willing to give you the money that you will want to sell. So I normally tell people to be very careful when they're buying. Even when you don't buy with me, you need to be very careful to see that the amount you're buying is actually fair for you and will be fair for someone 2 years from now. So we don't just buy cars. That's why sometimes it will take us days to get a car, but it will still be worth it. Even when it take like 2 or 3 days to get you a car, or a week, it will be worth it. So sometimes it's better to wait. Will the market conditions improve when you are have all this inflation, and you are when we have all this inflation? No, actually the condition of the market might get worse. You can try and wait and see if buying a car in January will be helpful to you. Yeah, if buying cars January, February, when kids are going back to school, it will be much more favorable. But I also find that everyone that has a good car is not selling now. Why? Because people are discovering that more and more a car is a necessity, and people are building out of town more and more. This means that if people are building in places like where I live in Matuga, if people are building in places like Chiwenda, if people are building far away from town, then you will find that people need their cars more, because everyone is building in a place where taxis stop somewhere, and then they need borders, and borders are expensive and dangerous, because even border guys are now becoming robbers. So you'll find that someone then ends up buying a car for safety and of course convenience. And right now you'll find that it's very hard to find a couple where it's only the man working. So if both of you are working, then it makes sense for you guys to actually have a car, because you share the car when you go to work. You get it? So during which season are prices prices are assumed to be cheaper during January. Okay, during periods when kids are going back to school, especially January, because during December basama banji, and the fact that basama come, but I find that this doesn't apply for cars that are relatively cheap, because basama normally buy new cars. This applies to new cars. It doesn't normally apply to old cars. I find that the period for kids going back to school and January period applies for people that want to buy cars of about 20 million and above. Why? Because men don't, not this generation. This generation, we want our wives to work. Me, I don't think I would stomach a woman that doesn't work, because she has a lot of idle time then. Idle time to find a lot of mistakes on you, idle time to gossip, idle time to quarrel with neighbors, idle time to probably do witchcraft, idle time to do what Martha did, go to a pastor and do rituals to get babies. You said you can buy Alex, you 16 million, you can buy Alex you 80, but after a year you can also sell it 15 million. Of course there are cars that have a resale value, like Alex, which take again. After a year, you can sell it 16 million. But now I cannot guarantee. Do you know why I cannot guarantee? Because there are lots of new cars on the market. Okay? So people have options. So they will not be depending on Alex alone. We have the Ractis. At 16 million, someone can get a Primo new model. Okay? And people are getting enlightened. Previously, the Alex is overpriced because people did not have channels like this one. A channel where someone can actually talk to them and tell them, okay, Alex is overpriced. See? So now you know that the Alex is overpriced. You also know that the Spacio old model is overpriced. So I'm thinking if you buy it, you know it's overpriced, and a lot of people that are going to find this channel in the future will know that it's overpriced, because they'll get alternatives. So buy it at your own risk. At 16 million, there is plenty of options you can get that will give you value for money other than the Alex. There is also a car that is called a Toyota Wheel. Avoid buying it. A Tawanya, and it has a very low resale value. I think I've said that. Those Alex cars are comfortable, by the way. Yes. They are very comfortable, no problem. They are very comfortable. So the best seasons to buy, ideally, in theory, it would be January and February. Up to March, definitely. Up to March, when Basama are going back. But that normally applies for newer cars. Let's say 15 million and above. But if you're buying cars 10 million and below, that doesn't work. The people that buy cheap cars, they don't sell. Why? A person that, by the time someone decides, let me buy a car 8 million, they need it. Which take it. So they are not going just to sell because, and normally the people that buy those cars, they are not on pressure to educate kids. They have the money to educate their kids. Or they know the cheap schools to take their kids. You get, like for me now, you would not find me selling my car because of school fees for kids. No. Me, I'm planning now I'm saving in Prudential for my kids' secondary education. Okay, 9 years from now, my oldest boy will be in secondary. So I'm saving for Namiriango for him now. So you'll not find me selling my cars for Namiriango 10 years from now. You get it? Actually, the Prudential thingy that I have for my kid, I'm saving for 2 of them. The money that I'll have in 9 years will be able to pay for them from senior 1 up to senior 4. So from senior 1 up to senior 4, I'll still be saving for them. You get it? Yeah. No, they upgrade, but they get Rio. They learn cars. Why gave you Morocco? You get it? Yeah. So you guys, I have to go. I have to call my people, and then I see that I make some money. But kindly tell friends and family about my marketing workshop. It's starting on 28th November, ending on 3rd December. We'll be covering everything that is marketing. People should stop gambling with marketing. Business is this window was open all along. Business is good. Business also, my phone is overheating, so I really have to go. Samsungs are overheating. Yeah, so business is always good. It's actually better when you know how to market. Yeah. So marketing workshop, it's only 160,000 for the 6 days, and trust me, it will be worth the time and money. Thank you very much, guys, for being here. It really means a lot. Okay, some comments have disappeared. I want to acknowledge that you guys have actually taken the time to be here. Can we attend the workshop online, and how much? It's still the same price, 160. I will share a Zoom link where you can attend and actually ask questions. Yeah, I'll share a Zoom link, but the price is still 160. No discounts, whether online or offline. Yeah, thank you, Vincent. So thank you very much. Today it was Nathan, number 1. Nathan was number 1. Martha, thank you very much. Number 2, Little Boss. Abraham, Simon Chisache, Rich Apeyu, David Mogaga, Patrick Asiku, Chris Da Vinci, of course. Then we had Sans. Then we had Vincent, aka. Then we had Seru, Victor Jason. Then we had David Jack, as always. Then Steve Barros. And yeah, I think, yeah, and of course we had so many other people that have not commented. Then we have Nicholas Kazibwe. Yeah. Arthur, I need a car, not because tomorrow I will need to sell and pay for rent or fees. So even though the resale value is low, yes, you come in. Even though the resale value is low, I don't care. Just advise me on which good one. Sorry. So what would be your budget though? What would be your budget? You can comment on this very broadcast now or later, and then we can actually talk about that tomorrow. So we can talk about that, Sans, but no worries. Okay. Yeah, so thank you very much, guys, and the other people that have been live that did not comment, thank you very much for taking the time. It really means a lot. 12 to 14 million. Okay, let me talk about that tomorrow. 12 to 14 million. Let me talk about that tomorrow, Sans. 12 to 14 million. But of course, you can buy the Primo new model, you can buy the Wish, you can buy a Sienta, you can buy the Harrier old model, you can buy a newer old model, the Regias also, but I don't recommend the Regias. You can buy a Pro Box. Now I'm talking about Toyotas mostly because, okay, we are talking about reliability. Since you're not going to sell later, I'm trying to give you reliable cars. You can buy a Kruger, number plate not guaranteed. You can buy, yeah, I'm trying to look at the road to see which cars. If you're a base person like me, you can buy a Mercedes-Benz C200 compressor. It will be a very nice car. Maintenance will be high, but you'll enjoy yourself. Yeah, don't buy a Pajero. You can get a Land Cruiser, the other first generation as well. One with 1.5cc, then Pro Box, Corolla like mine. You can buy a Fielder, the first model, 2001, 2002. That will be a 1.5, of course. You can buy various types of Corollas. You can also get a Sienta then. You can get a Paso, the 1.3cc. You can get a Vitz, the RS, the 1.5cc, 1.3cc. Yeah. For now, that's it. For now, let me. That's what can come to mind right now. You can also get the Alex, by the way. You can get the what's that? There is a brother to the RX. I don't know what that car is. You can also get a Ractis. Yeah. Primo. Old new model. And by the way, the Vitz, you can get the one. You see the Vitz behind the Land Cruiser. That one. You can get it. Like last year, someone got a Vitz like that, UBK, at 16 million, but now you can't get it because of the price conditions. And then you can also get a Wish. Yeah, the Ranix. I don't know why I forget the Ranix. Yeah, so you guys, I have to go. Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, next week we'll start talking about the houses as well. Yeah, but thank you for taking the time. Ciao.